y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. My name is Tiffany and I've been chronicling my weight loss / fitness / health journey. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more of my journey. All right, y'all, week 27 and I am in a much more positive mindset than last week, thankfully. So let's get right into it. All right. So I injected my Mounjaro at room temperature into the upper left part of my stomach, just a little bit above my belly button. Nothing to report there, completely painless as always, no bruising, no anything. So as far as side effects, I did have some mild nausea the day after injection, nothing too crazy. I think it was more really like I hadn't eaten anything and food wasn't really like appealing to me. So it was like that kind of nausea when you're hungry, not like because I was feeling ill. And the TMI part, the GI part, I did experience constipation this week. Typically I take a fiber supplement and a probiotic, and I try to get my natural fiber in as well, from veggies and whatnot, but for whatever reason, like, that just wasn't getting things moving the way it normally does. By the end of the week, I guess it had kind of subsided and wasn't too terrible anymore. My nutrition was much better this week. Definitely more in line with like my normal eating habits. So that was good. I still am having pretty decent appetite suppression towards the beginning of the week on the 10 milligrams. I did start my period last week, and so I was kind of craving some sweets. Not like excessively, but I did treat myself to some sweets, but otherwise it was quite the normal week. I've also been really good this week with my water intake. There was only one day that I did not hit my 8-cup minimum, and I fell asleep before I finished my last cup. So I was probably at like 7.5. So I was right there. And honestly, like as far as activity and stuff, I don't think the half a cup really made that much of a difference. Like I didn't really exert myself, so it wasn't like I needed like a ton of water that day. I have been under on my calorie goal and my protein goal every day this week. I honestly just didn't have like that much of an appetite, and I was at first, when I was like looking at the habit tracking, I was a little concerned because I don't want to be eating like too few calories. But I know that once I get back into the gym and I'm lifting, then I will easily hit those. I'm almost for certain I will easily hit those calories, because you gotta feed the gains. And I don't know about y'all, but when I do strength training, like it definitely kind of ramps up my appetite. In fact, when I first started Mounjaro, like that was the only way I could get like even 1,200 calories in, was to make sure that I was doing like the strength training. So I was actually like, oh, I gotta eat, I'm hungry, I gotta refuel. So speaking of exercise and fitness, my back is feeling so much better, y'all. So super happy about that. But because that was one of the most awful pains that I had ever felt with, like I've had back pain before. Typically I experience it in my lower back as opposed to like my upper or mid back. That was like the worst of the back pain that I've never had it where like it physically hurt to breathe. So I did take it easy this week. I was able to do yoga every day this week without it causing pain. If y'all remember last week, I tried yoga a couple of times, like hoping to kind of stretch those muscles out, and I would wake up the next day again, like in severe pain. So good sign that I was able to do the yoga. Of course, it was very gentle flows, nothing crazy, but I was able to do the gentle flows without the pain. And also, side side note, away from the yoga, because I did not make it to the gym, obviously, like I said, I was taking it easy, but I have wanted a bike probably for a couple of years now. I don't know what sparked my want of wanting a bike, because I have not ridden a bike in years. Years and years. I honestly can't remember the last time that, like, I was like, yeah. I can't even remember the last time, like, I owned a bike. Probably prior to me moving to New Braunfels when I was 13 years old. So it's been a hot minute. But yeah, I wanted a bike. But bikes are expensive. And I didn't know if, like, this was going to be like, okay, I have a bike, I'm going to ride it every single day, I love this, or is it like, I want a bike and then I ride it once and I'm like, this sucks, I don't want to do this. Because I have told y'all I'm not an outdoorsy kind of person. But I figured, number one, it's a good source of cardio, and number two, like, it's gonna get me outdoors. You know, you can't ride a bike inside, or at least not like the kind, you know, you actually go for a ride on. You know, they do have the indoor stationary ones, and those are not bad. I actually like that as a form of cardio in the gym, the stationary bikes. So anyways, I've been looking at, like, my local, like, resale pages and whatnot, and nothing, or like the online garage sale pages, and nothing, even used bikes are still kind of expensive, or more expensive than I want to invest in something that I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to love. So the other day I was at my parents' and they were cleaning out their garage, and they had this old bike and they were just going to, like, toss it or donate it or whatever. And they actually offered it to my daughter, and I was like, no, I want that. Side note, my daughter does have a bike already. I'm not, like, stealing from my child. So I was like, I want it. So got it home. It does need some work. It's not in perfect condition, but it is rideable. So I had it sitting at my house for like a week, and I tried to ride it all throughout the week, but every time I would go outside and be like, I'm gonna go for a bike ride, it would literally start raining. And I was like, maybe this is the universe telling me this is not for you. But alas, fast forward to Friday, the weather was nice because Texas is already starting to serve up some heat for us. It was nice, it was cool, it was breezy, no rain, and so I was like, I'm gonna go for a bike ride. And I did it, and I really enjoyed it, y'all. Unfortunately, though, I think I'm gonna need a new seat, or according to Google, like, these small little muscles on my underbutt are not used to a bike seat, and so they got, like, severely sore. Like, I rode the bike all around my neighborhood, and I enjoyed it, and I was like, I'm gonna do this again tomorrow. Like, I'm a little sore from the seat, but it's gonna be fine. I woke up and I could not even sit down. Oh my gosh, the pain was awful. But I still want to do it. I just have to let my butt rest a little bit. So it is now Monday, and my butt is still sore, but it's feeling a little bit better. I'm thinking, though, I may try again this evening if scheduling works out. So yeah, I'm excited about it, though. So I know, and y'all know, because I've been telling y'all my goals and things that, the habits I want to start every month and the things I want to do, and one of those has been outdoor walking. And I've told y'all, I've mentioned it in this video, I'm not an outdoorsy kind of person. Never have been. And for whatever reason, like, walking, it's like, it's so monotonous to me. Like, I definitely can't do it on a treadmill, like that, nope. And then even if I'm, like, walking around my neighborhood with my headphones in, like, I'm counting down the seconds until it's over. I don't know why I hate it so much. And then not only that, I get shin splints very easily. We don't have sidewalks in my neighborhood, so I I think walking on like the uneven pavement or whatever, like we have bike lanes, but we don't have sidewalks. So yeah, it's not working out for me. But like if I can do the bike riding, then I can do that in lieu of the walking because it's still cardio and it's still getting me outdoors. And that was the whole point of wanting to do outdoor walks, because the sun is good for you. It's good for your mental health. And apparently, I don't know if I mentioned it to y'all or not, I was reading, and apparently if you get some sunlight, it helps you sleep better at night. And I don't know how or why or the science behind it, but I've been an insomniac my entire life. So hopefully if I'm able to work my way up to riding the bike every single day, I'll sleep better at night. So I'm killing all these birds with just one stone. And that, my friends, is a good thing. All right, and the weigh-in. So last week was a maintenance week. Somehow, miraculously, I maintained my weight loss. This week, I stepped on the scale and I weighed in at 160.8. And that is a 2-pound loss off of the maintenance. And it put me at 34 pounds total loss. I did not measure myself again this week, and it was nothing. It was just one of those things. I was going to, but then I ended up going thrifting with my mom and my sister, and I just never got around to it. And so I was like, you know what, I'll just do it next week. And so that's that. I didn't measure. I don't know that I feel any slimmer or not, you know, I don't know. It is what it is though. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so I had my appointment with my new provider, and she is super, super sweet. She was very supportive of my journey thus far. Seems excited to help me with continuing my journey. And I am not gonna lie to y'all, I was actually very nervous when I found out that my old PCP was leaving the practice, because I really loved my old PCP. She was one of the only doctors that has ever provided care to me that I felt like really listened and addressed my concerns. I'm a firm believer in like, you know your body best, and you know, she was very much in line with those thoughts. Like if I told her like, hey, you know, something's not right with me, then she always was like, well, then let's get to the bottom of it. Let's figure out what's going on. So I really appreciated that with her. Like she listened to me and wanted to get to the root instead of just slapping a Band-Aid on, you know, whatever the complaint was, instead of figuring out why. So very awesome. Loved her, was very sad. And so I was nervous that, you know, it would take me a while to find another provider that I could be confident in my care with. But this one, I mean, like I said, she seems great. She's excited about my journey. In fact, and the Mounjaro thing was a little bit of my anxiety with finding a new provider, because I have heard people say, you know, that for whatever reason, their doctor didn't want to prescribe, or they've been to several doctors and they didn't want to prescribe it. They didn't want to go through the hassle of like battling insurance and whatnot, which, I mean, my insurance has already approved me. So, I mean, that step's already taken care of. But, you know, for whatever reason, some doctors are not wanting to prescribe it. And, you know, that's okay. But I was afraid that I was going to have to deal with that. And this medicine has been, honestly, nothing short of a miracle, it feels like. Because y'all know, y'all been here, y'all know that I struggled for 2 years of doing all the right things and continuing to gain weight. And this medication has allowed me to, you know, start losing weight. It's helping me regulate my glucose and hopefully keeping the insulin resistance at bay and preventing diabetes type 2. So having someone who's on board with that is extremely important to me. And y'all, I kid you not, like, as soon as she walked into the exam room, she was like, so I noticed on your chart, it says that you're taking Mounjaro. And I was like, yes. And she was like, tell me how you got approved, because I just need to know, you know, so I can help other people too. And I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know how I got approved. And so, like, we kind of went through the backstory of how, like, my original PCP had prescribed Ozempic, and the insurance was like, no ma'am, absolutely not. We will not do that. And then they approved Mounjaro with, like, 0 questions asked. So, yeah, she was like, that's amazing, and, you know, good for you. And so that was very reassuring. And also in terms of doctor visits, she did order labs for me. I actually went this morning to have those drawn. So hopefully the A1C is looking good. Hopefully it's lowered, and, you know, hopefully everything looks good. Hopefully the Mounjaro is doing its job. It feels like it's doing its job. And, like, with my morning fasted glucose checks, I haven't been over 100 in months. It feels like there was one day and it was like 101. So not anything super crazy, but yeah. So hopefully by next week's video, I will have the results of those and I can give you the update on that. So speaking of future videos, this is my kiddos' last partial week of school before summer break. So I will be at home with them all day, and I know that my daily schedule is going to change to accommodate that, and I don't know how my schedule changing is going to affect my social media schedules. I've also kind of been playing with the idea of maybe like little snippets throughout my day, throughout the week, as opposed to me, you know, sitting down and having a one-on-one kind of conversation with you. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what format y'all prefer. I do think I am going to try this week to do like the little snippets, see how that goes. My only thing is, especially with filming, is I do not share my children on public social media platforms. That is just a personal preference of my own. I'm not ready to share my babies with the world. They are young and the internet is forever. So it's just not something that I feel comfortable with yet. So that said, I have to film around them. So I just don't know. I don't know how I'm going to make it work. I will make it work. I'm going to make it work. I just don't know how yet. So we shall see. Otherwise, I think that's all I have for y'all today. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up because that really helps my channel grow. Leave me a comment, number 1, letting me know where you're at on your journey, how your week went, and number 2, let me know what format you think that you would prefer. And then, if you haven't already, please go ahead and consider subscribing because I love having all of you around. Until next time, bye!